Lord, I'm standing here and I don't know what to do. The enemy is saying, give up 'cause I'm through. So I'll just lift up my
Hello, welcome to week 1 of Winning My Race and your 28-day health revolution. We're ready to get started. You know, the Bible tells us that we perish due to a lack of knowledge. Now, it's obviously not a lack of information. There's plenty of health programs out there. There's even better, there's plenty of Bibles out there, yet people are really struggling to be healthy, to fulfill their purpose. They're struggling at home in their marriages, with their families. So why is this? Well, while there's lots of information, people lack the skill and they don't have the tools to pull things off, to be well, to be healthy, to do the things that God has called them to do. And so that's why we have to not just give you a lot of information through these 4 weeks and through the book Winning My Race. We have to give you a renewing of the mind. We've got to change your thinking. You know, the Bible says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so we need a mindset of success. We need a mindset of discipline, a mindset of health. You know, I don't need discipline. I don't even like the word discipline because it sounds like it's really tough. And I don't need discipline to not cheat on my wife. I don't need to work really hard to not look at pornography. It's just a mindset that I have. I'm a healthy person because my mindset says I'm a healthy person. It's what I think about myself. As a Christian, we should be people of conscience. We should be conscious about what we're putting in our body, what we're doing for our health, because these bodies are the vehicles that God has put here on this planet to fulfill His purposes. And we've got to take care of the vessel. Now, the first step to renewing your mind and having this mindset we're talking about is what we call your big why. We have 2 kinds of big whys, and the reality is, without the why, we cannot win at the how. So we're going to give you lots of great tools to make life easier, not harder to live than it is right now, so you can finally not only start exercising, but keep exercising and seeing results. We're going to show you how to eat so that you don't just start another diet that you're going to end, another diet that you're going to quit. We're going to give you great stuff, but we got to have a big enough why so we complete the how. We need the why because that's necessary to create the discipline to change so that we can change not temporarily, but permanently. Now, if you give it some thought, you know, lack of discipline isn't just something that causes us to be overweight or to impact the way we want to look in a negative way. You know, lack of discipline, it hurts things like your marriage. We see a male Christian who is so committed to Christ and who loves his wife but yet is pulled towards pornography or other women. You know, there's lack of discipline there. We're paying with credit cards instead of cash and going deep into debt. Again, lack of discipline. We have the ability to do these things properly. We want to do these properly, but the reality is we got to get our mind right. We got to get a winning mindset so we can not only run our race, not only complete the race, but win our race. So let's talk about big whys. There's your personal big why, and there is your mission big why. Now, to have your personal big why, you got to focus on the people and the circumstances of your own personal life. These are what make up this big, giant personal why. So think about a woman who's pregnant. You know, maybe beforehand she ate junk food, sugar, chemicals, maybe she drank or smoked, but during that time of the 9 months, she'll say things like, I'm eating for 3. She's actually realizing that I'm eating for a baby and myself and God who gave me this baby. Where she maybe had this losing mindset before and struggled to stay away from these other addictions. Now she can do it because the fact that she's pregnant during this period of time has given her a winning mindset. So the personal big why, to do this, you have to ask the question, what in my personal life is so important that, like a pregnant mother, it will inspire me to gain control over my lifestyle, and it helps me to eliminate something on a consistent basis. What is that important in my personal life? Well, I can tell you my story is the fact that my dad died at the age of 50 of a heart attack. And it's accurate to say that he lifestyled himself to death. In fact, when he had his heart attack, it was on the front lawn of our home. the night we were going to go away on a family cruise. My little brother, my 17-year-old baby brother, who I'm 9 years older than, actually found my father there on the lawn and tried to resuscitate him. This is not the legacy that my dad wanted to leave. He was a great dad, but he didn't take care of himself, and so he died early. He died before he had a chance to not only finish but to win his race. So personally, I do all I can do for my health because I want to be there for my family. I want to be there for my wife. My dad left a young mom behind in her 40s who had a stroke only 1 year later and is permanently disabled. I don't want to do that to my wife if I can help it. I don't want to not be there for my 3 children when they graduate high school if I can help it. I want to see them not only graduate high school, but graduate college, get married, and I want to see my grandkids grow up, so I'm going to do all that I can. So it's not enough to say my big why is I want to look better in a dress, or I want to lose a few weights or look better at the beach. You need something bigger than that. You need to say things like, I want to see my grandkids grow up. I was talking to a gentleman recently who's doing our program who has lost 100 pounds, and I said, what triggered it? He said, well, it's when I saw my grandkids and knew that the way I'm living right now, I know I'll never see them graduate, I'll never see them get married if I stay on the same track. That was a big enough why for him to make a change. I've heard women say, you know what, I want to be on a cruise ship at retirement and not in a nursing home. That's another great, big personal why. Now let's switch to your mission-based why. So your mission-based why, this could be your work, your purpose, your mission, your ministry. The things that you do to help people and serve God, these make up your big why for your mission. The things you do to make the world a better place. These are the things that make history. And so you need to really look at the fact that if I'm a heavy equipment operator, if I'm driving a car, if I'm doing drugs or drinking, it impairs that. Well, the reality is sugar, junk food, a degenerating spine, being out of shape, these things also horribly affect our focus, our energy, our reflexes, our performance, and those things cause all kinds of problems in our work. I know that in order to even be doing this video for you today, I needed to make sure that I exercised, I ate well, so that I was really ready to have the energy, have the focus, have the presence of mind to do a decent job for you because I serve you and I serve God in this way. So what are some good mission-based big why examples? So things like my desire to serve God is greater than my desire for sugar. That's a great one. Exercise gives me the strength to double the amount of energy I have and so double the amount of work I can do in a day. You could say something like this, that if I die early, my whole ministry falls apart. So I'll get up when the alarm goes off so that I can do some exercise. You can also say that, that everything that I'm doing to eat right is all things that I'm doing to prepare myself for an extra 30, 40 years of ministry that I wouldn't have if I didn't do those things properly. So you want to be able to make sure you're doing something as simple as just eating the right foods. These are your mission-based big whys. So willpower just won't cut it. Even Paul says in Romans that I know what I want to do, but I can't do it. In fact, the things I don't want to do, these are the things that I keep doing. He's talking about needing the mind of Christ because we will conform to the patterns of this world and all the overweight and disease and the depression and the divorce and the indebtedness. We will conform to those things if we don't have the mind of Christ. We don't renew our mind. So we ask you to repeat through the program to yourself, I can do all things through Christ in me who gives me strength. That's the beginning to transforming your mind, to transforming body, to renewing your mind. So the next step in renewing your mind that we're going to take you through in the weeks ahead is the principles of winning. I've had the opportunity to be a doctor for many of the U.S. world teams and travel with them to the Olympics. And I love the whole Olympic spirit because it's all about not just simply winning, but winning your race, winning at the things you were called to do. All of us were called to be champions. Now, this first principle, choose your right race, is critical because you can't be a champion if you're running in the wrong race or, in fact, in somebody else's race. You have to discover why you are here. So like Michael Phelps, his greatest accomplishment really wasn't winning all those medals, it was choosing the right race. I mean, he has the perfect swimmer's body. He's got shoulder blades that are like fins. He's got feet that are like flippers. He's got a 10-foot wingspan. He would have made a lousy wrestler, weightlifter, or ballerina. In fact, if he had done those things, he would have just been a tall, geeky loser. So thankfully, he chose the right race. Now, to determine your right race, you have to look at your unique talent proposition, your UTP. Focus on strengthening your strengths and not just improving your weaknesses. While improving areas that are holding you back, your weaknesses, is good, the best thing you can do is to actually strengthen your strengths. Spend time on the things that make you stronger. It's like a frog who determines that he's going to learn how to fly to get across the pond instead of just hopping over it. So what are you perfectly shaped to do? What skills come most naturally to you? What do you feel comfortable doing? What activities do you love? And what things are you passionate about? That's what you need to consider when choosing your right race. So remember, you're loved, you're valuable, you're needed. You're important to God, and you're important to history. So stay focused. Stay focused on the time, the energy, and the discipline you need to not only run the race, not only complete the race, but to win your race. We'll see you at week 2.